Hi, my name is Samantha, and I will be doing my presentation of the Shang Dynasty that lasted from 1600 to 1046 BCE. Just some historical background. The Shang Dynasty lasted an approximate 554 years. It was centered in North China along the Yellow Valley River. The capital was moved many times until it was finally settled near the modern city of Anyang. The Shang Dynasty has been credited for the invention of writing in China and developing a stratified government. It was later overthrown by the Zhao, who believed that the king was evil and then heaven no longer wanted him to rule. This was also the peak of the Bronze Age, where the bronze technology was perfected, and yeah. Right, so moving on. The Shang apparently worshipped a supreme deity called Di. He was thought to have controlled the entire universe as well as other spirits, including nature and ancestral spirits. It was thought that the king was the only one who could communicate with him through royal ancestors, which they called or considered their intermediaries. They would do this through ceremonies and sacrifices, and it was bronze vessels that they would use during these ceremonies and sacrifices. But it was very apparent that ancestor worship was very important to the Shang people. So these bronze vessels, they were created through a technique called pieced mold casting, which was where a mold was created out of clay, carved with a design, and then molten bronze was poured into it. And then lastly, they cracked the mold away and then gave it handles. These vessels were typically used in divinatory ceremonies for sacrificial offerings of meat, wine, and grain. They were often given to the spirits of clan ancestors, especially those of a ruler or a family. And it was very apparent that wine vessels were considered important to the Shang people, considering the amount of abundance that were found in Shang tombs. Here I have some examples of those bronze vessels that were used during ceremonies and sacrifices. They're labeled from left to right, top to bottom, and as you can see in description, several of them were used for wine and holding alcohol. Um, when you look at the history of the Shang, there were several different models that were used throughout history, and all of these had carvings and had some sort of animal carved on them. So, why were they important? What did they reveal about the Shang Dynasty? Well, they were important because they were used to hold the food, meat, grain, and wine during these ceremonies and sacrifices. What it revealed about the Shang Dynasty was that bronze represented power, wealth, and luxury. But it was thought to have been confined to the royal house itself, but later on was bestowed upon local governors set up by the ruler, or anyone who had any degree of power within the kingdom. So that really sums it up about the bronze vessels that were used during the Shang Dynasty. Thank you for watching my presentation. Hope you enjoyed it.